The Italian event vehicle, the FRIOS 6, just dropped, and man is it fun, so I'm going to go ahead and rate it for you. Starting off, we have speed. It goes 100 kilometers per hour forward and 19 kilometers per hour in reverse. This is roughly equivalent to 62 miles per hour forward and about 12 miles per hour in reverse. Its forward speed being 100 kilometers per hour makes it one of the fastest vehicles in the game. The reverse gear, however, is actually quite bad for a light tank in this BR bracket, although it's similar to the Oosh, which is also a rocket tank. So it's going to get a 9 out of 10 for speed. As for agility, you do have pretty good acceleration, although you are a wheelie boy, so turning corners are actually quite hard, and you are quite top heavy in the FRIOS. So you definitely are not the most agile thing in the world. Not to mention, your top speed of 100 kilometers per hour is quite hard to brake from, so your braking distance gets quite long. But due to your side, speed, and weight, you do maintain some semblance of agility, so it's going to get a 6 out of 10. As for armament, of course, it is rockets, and the rounds you get are the ARF 8M3 anti-tank grenades. These are 50 millimeters that travel 515 meters per second, have a TNT equivalency of 5.74 grams, and have a maximum penetration value of 250 millimeters. And you get 48 shots each, and you have 3 racks. Meanwhile, the reload rate between racks ranges from 39 seconds to 30 seconds. Now, when you're using this armament, I didn't really have any issues when you're on tier or below tier, but as soon as you get up tiered, everything has better armor, so it gets really hard to penetrate enemies. But since it's a rocket pod, you do have the ability to dish out a lot of pain quite quickly. So for offensive armament, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. As for defense, it is a light tank with a maximum hull armor of 8 millimeters. This means the only rounds you're going to be deflecting are 50 cals from the front, and maybe some 50 cals on the side at a distance, but that's really iffy. So it's going to get a 1 out of 10 for defense. Moving on to survivability, it is no better. On one end is all your ammunition, so you're basically just a bomb, and on the other end, it looks like the line outside your mother's house. Yes, I made that joke again. And let me just say, you aren't really surviving anything, so I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 for survivability. As for features, you do get smoke grenades, and it is amphibious on top of having a giant rocket thing on top of you. And because you are a light tank, you do get scouting abilities, so you can't get in your aircraft quite quickly. Other than that, there's nothing else really going for it. So I'm going to give it a nice average 5 out of 10. As for flexibility, you do have some roles that you can fill. You can be a light tank flanker, you can try sniping by using your rockets to kind of range find. You could try to pull off artillery support, although it's not the best at that. I haven't even gotten a hit yet with artillery. And you can just be a pest that sits in corners waiting for enemies. So it's pretty much just light tank activities. So for flexibility, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Moving on to difficulty, there's nothing inherently hard about playing this vehicle. You're pretty much just going to be running around the map and just spamming rockets at basically anything that moves. The hardest part is probably getting used to the rocket drop because it is pretty heavy within the first 200 meters. That being said, it's not the best vehicle and can be quite hard to get used to gameplay wise, but it's actually quite easy to learn. So with 1 being the hardest and 10 being the easiest, I'm going to give this thing a 7 out of 10. Now for the fun value, who doesn't like running around the map at 100 kilometers per hour firing 48 50mm rockets? Now it may not be the best vehicle, but you're sure to have a lot of fun just spam clicking anything that's moving. So at least for me, it's going to get a 10 out of 10 for the fun value. As for the worth value, it is a non-premium event vehicle for Italy. So while it is limited time and really fun, it's not going to get you through the entire Italian tech tree, and it's not going to offer any special boosts. So if you skipped out on this vehicle, you're not really missing anything, you're just allergic to fun. So for its worth value, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. This gives the FRIOS 6 an overall score of 55 out of 100, which places it at a C. If you're looking to sell this vehicle, I'm assuming it'll go for a maximum amount of 30 Gaijin coin, although it's most likely going to be lower than that. While it is a really fun vehicle, it's mid at best, so do what you will with that information.